What's up, everyone? Welcome to the live stream. Today, we are going to be creating a new effect from scratch. I will not have a face cam during this live just because my camera is not set up because I was using it on a shoot this weekend. Welcome to the live stream. Today, we're going to be creating a new effect, and you guys are going to get the entire process on how I create a tutorial, what I do when I'm creating a new effect, and what I'm playing around with, because there's so much you can do. It's all about just learning within Premiere Pro and seeing what you can create, because it's honestly awesome. Like, we're just going to be playing around. I have no idea what I want to create. So if you have any ideas, just hit those in the comments, because that would be awesome. All right. So for starters, let's grab some music. So I'm going to open up, Artlist, since I like their music quite a bit. Yeah, that works. I want to put it pretty quiet. But yeah, I mean, when I'm creating an effect, it kind of just, actually, I don't think I'm gonna have music this time, so I can stay focused. When I'm creating an effect, I will typically just play around with Premiere and all the effects it has to offer, because I will just click through all of these effects on the left-hand side and then see what they do, because honestly, that's how you get good at what you do. So what's up, everyone? Ed, how's it going? Ajith, how's it going? Salvatore, data mosh transitions. Yeah, data mosh is pretty hard to do in Premiere Pro. To be honest, you can't really recreate that effect. The closest thing I have to a data mosh is currently a morph cut. So if you drag that morph cut on, it's going to analyze in the background. But yeah, Chris says, I would like to learn how to do an ice transition. Chris, what do you mean by ice transition? I will try to do that to my best. Ed says, make a lightning bolt transition, maybe. So yeah, you could do a lightning bolt by like a flash. So while that's rendering, let's go over here and do a lightning bolt or like a flash transition between these two things. So I'm going to go in here, right click, new item, adjustment layer. And what the hell is my aspect ratio? I don't even know what my sequence settings are. Yeah, I'm going to change that so it's square. There we go. And create a new, let's delete this adjustment layer because I don't want that anymore. And right click, new item, adjustment layer. Cool. Drag that onto my clip. And when I'm creating a transition, first you have to see how long you want that transition. So I'm going to hold shift left arrow key twice. That'll jump me 10 frames out in that direction. Because every time you hold shift and the arrow key once, that'll jump you 5 frames. Let me turn off my phone's notification so it doesn't annoy us. And yeah, that looks good. So let's think about the lightning bolt or an effect like that. There's so many different possibilities. Like you could do invert. That would create this, well, that's audio effects, video effects, invert. That would kind of create like a flash right here. So if we toggle blend with original and change that all the way up to 0, go before it a little bit, and then 100%, it would like instantly create that flash effect right here. And then we could bring it back down to 100% and then flicker this in and out. Obviously 50 doesn't look good, so we're gonna make that 25. And then all the way back down to here. Highlight all of them, right click, go to hold, and then we have this like, it almost looks like a lightning strike. So I mean, that's kind of cool. So I mean, that's a quick and easy transition using the invert. And the fun thing about this is once we click in here, we can actually change the channel to just like the red. So then that same effect, it gives us like a red stutter, which is kind of cool. Let me make this a little bit bigger so I can work in here. Yeah, that looks good. And then we can change this to green. So you're already getting like a lot of these different colors and stuff. And honestly, like playing around with just the different HLS or hue, it will give you an entirely different look, which is kind of cool. Like that hue one is so subtle, but like that shifts the entire hue of the image. So you could literally cycle through this stuff. So if I drag this adjustment layer to the beginning of this clip and then set a keyframe at the beginning to 0 and change this from hold to linear, and then go all the way right before the transition and drag it to 100, then you'll see that our hue will start to shift ever so slightly and then it goes into this thing. So like you could use this for like music videos and everything, where you just click and drag and it creates all these effects. So I mean, that's pretty cool in itself. So thank you for the suggestion on that lighting. That was awesome. Ed, hopefully that got there. Obviously you could add like, you know, if you brought this back to RGB, you could add like more. Obviously we can't have that first keyframe, but you could add more flashes. So we could simply duplicate this adjustment layer and delete the invert because it's extracting each other or subtracting each other, and then add like something like brightness and contrast to that next adjustment layer, or even the same adjustment layer. And then right here in the beginning, make that flash brightness all the way up, contrast all the way up, keyframe that, go right before a little bit, contrast or brightness probably 0, and then contrast 0. And then right after, let's just copy these keyframes, highlight them, hold Alt, drag right here, and let's highlight both these keyframes in the beginning and go to right click, ease out, and then go to the ending keyframes, right click, ease in. But I've also created some macros. Well, I don't have them enabled right now, so maybe I'll show you those. But I'm always using ease in and ease out and Beziers because I think it's important to quickly and easily edit these things. So I'm gonna click the down arrow real quick on all these and adjust these speed graphs. So I'm gonna click this one and drag it out. I'm gonna make this middle one pop really fast, and then this one I'm gonna ease into it. Click this down arrow so I can see it. So it looks like that, so it's popping up really quick. I'm gonna do the same thing on this bottom one. Boom, chakalaka. Bring this up, pop this one down, looks like that. So now if we play this back with that effect, it should look a little bit more like a flash. Yeah, I mean, that looks freaking sick. Look at that. It's like you can see that flash ramping in, and that's our brightness flashing in. So our brightness and contrast is actually flashing in, and then we have that invert on this layer right here that's popping that in. So thank you for that suggestion. Maybe I'll make a free preset pack. What do you guys think? Should I turn this into a preset pack? I mean, obviously anything I create, I'm going to add to my Ultimate Effects pack, so it's just drag and drop. But I think this looks pretty cool. So what? I could make a tutorial for tomorrow and then make a bunch of these, so then you have like a bunch of flash transitions. Is that what we call this? Lightning flash transitions? What do you guys think? I think that's pretty cool. Nice. So let's read some of these comments. All right. We have Chris says something like a Sub-Zero kind of thing. Maybe that's like background. If you could send me an example on Instagram, I'd love to check it out. Let me pop out this chat so I can pull it into view so you guys know what I'm looking at. Let's see. And I've done a couple things with Adobe watching your vids. Hey, I appreciate it, man. Thank you. Zeffy says, I don't know, I can't translate. Wow, thank you. Ed says, does Premiere have an actual lighting like AE? I don't know. To be honest, they might. I can look it up. Hello, it's me, your favorite Diagonal Game member. How's it going, Techno? Perfect. Great response. Ed, appreciate it. Always something good. Chris says, that's dope. Sky says, damn. Well, I appreciate it, y'all. So I am going to actually save this. So I should have made it on one adjustment layer. So I'm going to copy that and then paste that down here and then just delete that top one. So then that should have everything in one adjustment layer. So now what I can do is click on both these, right click, save preset, and we're going to name this Flash 1. Yeah, Flash 1, and we'll just scale that. So now if I delete all of these, and then let's say we want to make this transition longer, we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4. So this will be 20 frames out there. So this will be like a total 40 frame transition. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now what I can do is if I create this preset pack for y'all, you can simply go to the presets and then drag on that flash effect, and then theoretically it should do that whole transition just like that. I mean, check that out. That's freaking awesome. And if you want it to be longer or shorter, you can just click and drag your adjustment layers out, delete all those, and then drag that flash on again, just making sure the center is in there. So obviously it's pretty long now, but I wouldn't make something like that. Cool. So I will put that in the back of my mind and make something like that for a preset. Chris says, what's your Instagram? My Instagram is Kyler Holland. Give me that follow here. I'll put it in the chat so y'all. Oh, that's my Instagram. Will it pull up? Here we go. Wow. This is, there we go. So this is my Instagram. profile. So if you want to hit me up or something, just hit me up at Kyler Holland, shoot me a DM, and then I'll make something. So let's create something new. Like, let's create another thing. Now that we just did a lightning thing, we started off this live stream with an awesome. RH Media says, what about a crop transition? A crop transition. So, I mean, there's a couple different things we could do here. So let's just Control L on these and delete the auto tracks. I don't want them. And let's drag this first video clip up, and then let's go to the transition point and hold shift and go back, let's say twice. So then that's 10 frames, and bring this clip right here. So we're probably going to crop this top clip into that bottom clip. So I can actually hit C and just cut that. So this is just that top video layer. So let's drag on the crop tool and see what we can make. So the crop tool, if I hover in here, I can crop from the right, top, down, all this stuff. But what happens if I stack these things? So crop, copy, and what if I double it? Or like, what if I go from the left? All right, cool, check that out. So I can actually pull in from different sides. The thing I don't like, though, is that it doesn't crop in from this top portion, which is what I wanted. What does that zoom one do? Oh, that zoom one's kind of cool. Yo, that would be a sick transition if I like did the crop zoom. I'm sure I could find some way of we're going to do that after this. All right. So first let's make a crop transition. Let's see, uncheck zoom. I know that if I like crop from the left, go a couple frames, move this right here, go back, move it back here, go a couple frames, move it here, and then highlight all of those and right click and go to hold, we could get like some cool transition. Like, check that out. That's like a crop transition where it's like cropping your image. That looks pretty sick. But how can we add another crop on here? Like, because I'm worried that if I just duplicate this crop, obviously, and delete that, I don't want that keyframe. Obviously, if I adjust from the top, it's just going to crop in right there, but I want it to crop the entire thing. So I think what I have to do is actually create an adjustment layer and do that adjustment layer above this. But if I do that above this, won't that crop everything? Let me test real quick. Copy that. Yeah, exactly. So if I do it on the adjustment layer, it'll crop everything. So this is where I need to get creative in the sense where if I right click on this and select nest, now that should be nested, but the crop is still on there. And if I apply another crop, check this out. I should be able to top. Yeah. Well, no. See, it's still cropping. Well, I mean, that makes sense because it's cropping in there, but what if I crop from the left? Nope. What if I crop from the right? So yeah, I can add another one by cropping from the right, but wouldn't I, if I delete all this, wouldn't I be able to do that from this one? Crop from the right? Yeah. I guess what I'm saying is that if you want to add more crops on this transition, I think you got to copy this bottom video layer because that's the one that we're messing with. And then start manipulating this crop. So obviously let's do top 100%. So then it's only pulling in that crop that we did. Wait, hold on. Top, I need to get rid of, wait, did I copy the wrong one? Hold on, I'm getting a little lost here. So this is the video actually. Yeah, so this is the video that we are cropping. Okay, yeah, so we have that right on there at, all right. Retract. I got a little ahead of myself. So we're pulling from this video into this one right here. So what I could do is I could actually duplicate this top video layer right here. And then I could manipulate like this further, like bottom 100%. So then when it's like right here, I could bring that bottom in or down. But I'm actually going to do what I did in the beginning and bring this top one in. Because if I bring that top one in and pull in the crop and crop all the way to the right, I know that it's not showing, but I could pop this in and pop it into the left further, and I can get a little bit more like control. So the more videos that you pull in here, the more control you'll have over your actual clip. And you can get like halves like that by pulling in the left portion, so then it looks like this. So then we're getting more of like a dynamic crop. But I think there's another way of doing this crop effect. But overall, that's the crop transition. So, I mean, you can play around with this. Just play around with the crop and stacking your layers. But I think there's going to be an easier way to do this. So let's just use those same clips, but copy them over since I don't really need them anymore. And while I brainstorm, I'm going to read some more of your guys' comments. All right, so let's see. Doug says it looks so cool. What's up, Doug? Fakta says hi. Colin, what's up, Colin? Yo, that's my bro from college and high school. Dinar, hey, could you do something have a pan transition? 2 clips which don't have pan and footage. Yeah, I've done a tutorial on that, like sliding transition, so check out my channel. I've done recent slide transitions, but actually this next one I'm gonna do will kind of be a pan, but not really. I'm gonna try that crop tool because I've never tried it before. Thanks God you're back with brand new streaming. Yes, Harris, I'm back. Use a mask. Yeah, Ed, you could totally, if we go back to that clip right here, on all of these clips, you could totally come in here and do something like this where you mask out portions of it. So you can increase the size of this mask right here. So then on that transition, that mask is only affecting that clip. So if you duplicate that layer, then you can come up here and change this mask to a different area. So then when it pulls in, it could affect that area. But you'll have to play around because when you start masking the same crops, it gets a little finicky. So you might have to duplicate different layers because as you can see, it's pulling in that mask from the other one, but you can play around with inverting the mask, which will subtract that portion out as well. So definitely play around with masking. That could give you a different effect for sure. Yeah, so let's keep moving because I was playing around with that zoom transition, which was cool, but let's go from this clip and into this clip. So let's see, I'm going to drag this. Actually, I'm going to go here. Hold shift, left arrow key twice because I'm going to go 10 frames, drag that up so that I know I'm transitioning from this clip into this clip right here. So this, actually I'm not going to do that yet. I'm just going to pull that here and see what the crop zoom function does because I was just playing around with that. So here we go. Rivu says, Kylie doing this thing, the Premiere Chemist, what's up? Denara says, cool, thank you. Chris, I just sent you a DM on Instagram. I'll definitely check it. Review, hey Kylie, what's up? Just joined. What's happening in today's live stream? So yeah, today's live stream, I don't have a camera because I don't have it set up right now, but I'm just basically editing in Premiere Pro, coming up with new effects and seeing what we can create based on your guys' feedback and stuff. Yeah, so I can just practice and we all can just kind of learn from each other. So yeah, let's see what the zoom tool does. So if I drag this from the left, all right, so that starts to pull, and that pulls pretty much all the way till 99. And then at 100, it goes back to normal, which is kind of like a glitch. So I know that I can get to 99. So I'm going to set a left keyframe at 99 all the way to the end and reset this to 0. So if I play that back, it like pulls in to the left, which is kind of cool. But it's like choppy right now. So I want to know if I can right click on this first one, go to ease out, right click on the second one, go to ease in, look at that speed graph and see what's going on. Is it still choppy? Okay, so it's a little bit smoother. So if I pull this speed graph out to the right, and then I pull this one down so it like ramps up into it, would that look cool? Yeah, look at that. So that's starting to pull that image with just using the crop tool, as long as you check that zoom. So let's see what we can make out of this. I know that if I'm pulling this in, what if I just blend these clips together? So if I drag this bottom clip down, and apply that exact same crop, I might have to change the keyframes up a little bit because that would be pulling in from the crop. So theoretically, I need to reverse engineer this. Yeah, so because if this bottom clip is pulling to the left, I need to actually start it right here in the middle where this top clip is coming from this side to the left. So maybe we need to actually reverse these top keyframes. So let's delete this and delete this, reset that because I don't want that anymore. And let's just pull from the right this time. So if I pull, yeah, so if I pull from 99% down to 0, then theoretically that should make us pull from that, like pull from this side right here. Yeah, that looks good. So I'm gonna right click, ease out, right click on the next one and go to ease in. And then I'm gonna control this speed graph a little bit. I want it to be really fast starting out and then slow that stuff down. But although I might have to change these speed graphs because if I click on this one, you'll see that it starts slow then fast, and this one starts fast and slow. Because as you can see, it like pulls in right here. So I'm gonna quickly adjust this speed graph to start slow. and then fast because that matches. Oop, unsuspected drawing error. Premiere might crash on me. If it does, then I'll just restart it real quick and then take some of your guys' questions. So yeah, now I'm going to put this top video layer down here. That was just there for reference. So this video is pulling to the left right now. And if I untoggle that, this one's also pulling in from that way. So now I have to figure out a way to blend these two together. Now the simple answer is to simply change the opacity of this clip by keyframing the opacity from 100% all the way down to 0. So then theoretically this would look like that. Yo, look at that. What? That was just using the crop tool. That's freaking sick. That was just the opacity. I didn't even do anything. That was sick, yo. It blends in. It's a slide transition. I didn't even know that was even possible. That was freaking cool. Click the like button for that one, y'all. That was sick. How can we make this cooler? So the fun thing is like, since we're creating effects, actually, well, I already made that one a preset. So let's drag an adjustment layer on this. And theoretically, the transition's right there. And I could go to the beginning example that we made and that flash, drag that on here. So now we have this flash transition. Check it out. Yo, what? I need to do this more often because if y'all are just like going to give me ideas, then this is like gold right here. So obviously we could play around with the adjustment layers if we don't want it to be 2 or delete that brightness because I want to see some of that detail in there. Like, yeah, that's clean. And change this to like, I don't know, let's say screen. Nah, let's do something darker. So darker color. Yeah, so we're getting that flash in here. I like that. I like that a lot. Overlay, let's see what overlay does. Yeah, I mean, it all looks pretty cool. So to be honest, just play around with it. Yeah, that looks good. Tyler says, huge fan, Kyler. We have a similar niche. Let me pop out your chat. Or I guess it's on the side. You guys can see it on the side, on the, like over here, if that's cool. Thank you. And a huge fan inspiration. Thank you. I'm trying just to create for all of us. Let me loop this. Can I loop it? I still don't know how to loop in Premiere, to be honest. I know how to loop in After Effects. How do I loop? Where's the loop? There it is. Yeah, so that's what we just created. Little flashy, so we'll delete that flash. That was pretty clean. I'm going to render that out while I'm talking to y'all. Tyler says, yep, he's amazing. The thing he does, cool. Visit your channel. I'll check it out, Tyler. Just send me it on Instagram so I can check it out. Vivid, watching this while editing at work. Sick. What are you editing? Hopefully we can make a cool transition for you in today's live stream. What's up, everyone? Please make some tutorials or live stream on text animation. So yeah, well, that effect is dope. Thank you. So yeah, we could do a lot with text. I mean, you like hit T and start creating something. So K-Y-L-E-R. Let's just do Kyler to make it easy. Actually, yeah. And go to graphics. So that'll pop up the graphics tab. I'm going to edit this and change this to like, I mean, that kind of cool. Bring that font up. So yeah, text animations. Whenever you add effects onto your text, it'll actually pop up in the essential graphics. So let's go to our effects tab and type in like, let's just drag that flash on our text and see what happens. So yeah, the fun thing about text is like if you have presets already, you can drag certain effects. So that flash effect actually is just inverting our text layer. And since it's black and white, you can't really see what's going on. But you could do that. We could also add like an emboss or like, yeah, type in emboss and do a color emboss. And let's see what we can get out of this. Relief, yeah, let's drag that relief up. Okay, that's pretty cool. Contrast up, blend with original. I don't really want to blend it. So yeah, let's just control the relief and direction and animate this from like 0. Pop it all the way up to there. Boom to here. Change this around. Change those directions so it's like popping in and out. Highlight all those keyframes, right click, go to hold so it like jumps all over the place. And then let's also change the opacity to like, let's see, multiply. Yeah, so you can't really see it, but like that glitch that we added, like that emboss and the invert with our overlay is actually making our text kind of seem like it's glitching part of the stream, but I want it to like blend with this transition a little bit more. So maybe we start to like shear off some of the text. So like in here we can like change, like do something like this where our mask like pulls in our text layer. So we could do this, and then we could actually create some motion to our text. So like transform. This might get a little complex, so bear with me. Go to the position, add a keyframe, go a couple frames, change this position so we can pull that text off screen a little bit. Right click, ease out. Always ease out and ease in. That's just good practice, to be honest. Change that graph. So then now it's like our text is, it's so subtle. I'm going to pull this out a little bit more. Yeah, it's starting to pull out. So when this happens, it's starting to pull out a little bit. That's what she said. And now we can copy that up and delete the transform, because I'm going to keep that there, and also delete that mask. So now that bottom, see that bottom one is pulling away, but that top one is still staying there. So it looks like that. So fast and so crazy, but that's just a quick thing on how you can play with text. Like literally create, it's an adjustment layer. You can create any effect on there. River says, hey, he's from Kolkata. That's awesome. Hopefully I said that right. Hussam said, that looks crazy. Vivid Visual says, a real estate property video. Well, that's awesome. I mean, real estate, you don't really want transitions. You just kind of want something flashy. But I mean, this is pretty cool for starters. So I'm definitely going to save this project, and I'll probably make a tutorial on this tomorrow. So if you're in the live stream, make sure you drop by the tutorial that I'm going to drop tomorrow at 9 a.m. I think I'm going to do this. What do we think? Should we do this transition, or should we do the like, what do we do? The flash transition? Where was that flash transition? Was that the beginning one? Oh no, this is the morph cut. That was like the data mosh thing in the beginning. So if you want to like kind of do data moshing, you can do like morph cuts. But I already did a video on that. Oh yeah, that was the cropping transition that we did. But the tutorial, so we had to decide, do I want to do a tutorial on that cropping slide transition, or this, what is it? Flash transition. So yeah, I think that cropping, the cropping and the flash one, like this one's pretty dope. So yeah, this one's pretty good. This is one of the first ones that's like a crop and like the flash and invert. And then also we have this one that we just created, which is kind of like a cropping zoom slide, which I've never seen before. So that's like similar to like a slide transition. So I mean, let's just keep going with the live stream and see what we can make. Fatal King Gaming. Whoa, man. Thank you for that 100. I don't know what currency that is, but thank you for that donation. I truly appreciate it. Thank you for supporting the channel. That was awesome. That was like honestly probably one of my first donations in a long time. All right, so let's pull in some new clips. I don't want to work with these clips. I've already worked with that. Let's just, oh boy, that's my whole sequence file. I don't really have any. Actually, I do have some using ArtGrid. So click the link in the description. I think it's down below. Stock footage. All right, what do we want to pull in? Let's do some eyeballs. This one, talking. Yeah, let's just pull in those. Dude, whenever I drag things into Premiere, I kind of get a panic attack. So I'm like, oh gosh, it's going to freeze on me. How's the audio? Can you guys hear me fine? Stock footage. I mean, it sounds good. Rivu says, have you all checked out Kylie's Ultimate Effects Pack? It's dope. You'll get some amazing transitions. Check it out already. It's absolutely amazing. Thank you, Rivu. Yeah, so quick overview. The Ultimate Effects Pack. Let me just show you a quick example. Pop these in here. Pop these in here. Yeah, I have it open in my actual projects. I pretty much always have it open. Check my sequence settings. Yeah, we're good. The Ultimate Effects Pack basically allows you to find transitions like this like magnify transition. We'll go magnify and emboss, click and drag, and watch when I click and drag. Check out all of these effects that are already on there, audio included, and you already have that transition made for you because I made it. But yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, there's a ton of transitions in here. It just gets insane when you get into it. But yeah, before and after, it's drag and drop. So click the link in the description down below. if you want to pick that up for you, because I'm always working on it. But today we're gonna create a new transition. So what do we want to do here? Like, y'all, what do we want to do? Review. I'm gonna be adding all these pretty much to the Ultimate Effects pack in a new update. I just have to get around to it because I'm pretty busy with work, so it's hard. So when I don't know what to do, like when I am actually at a standstill, I go to the Effects tab and I just go through here and see what everything does. So if I go to Bevel Edges Thick, okay, that looks hideous, but I'll play around with the effects and see what I can get. Because obviously edge thickness, like if I drag that up, yo, look at that. If I drag that up and I can change the lighting angle, I could get some theoretical transition out of this, right? So whenever I'm creating a transition, let's go to an adjustment layer. Pick how long your transition is first. 1, 2, holding shift. So I'm going to make it 5 frames. I mean, I typically make a lot of these transitions like 20 frames or 40 frames long. And then let's delete that bevel edge, apply it onto the adjustment layer. Not all effects work on adjustment layers, but this one's one of them. So let's keyframe this edge thickness from 0. Go to the middle of this transition and drag that all the way up to 0.5 apparently, and then back down to 0. So if I play this back, you'll see it comes in and goes out. So now let's right click on the first one, Bezier, right click on the first one, ease out. Last one, ease in. Adjust this speed graph accordingly so I can get it really slow at the start, and then also slow this down at the end. So now it's like this. Super clean, super clean. I'm going to set an in and out point so then I can just loop this. Yeah, that looks good. So now we can actually manipulate the effect and see if we can create something cool. So if I move this light angle around, what happens? Okay, so that shifts the entire light. So let's keyframe the light angle in the beginning. Drag it to the right. Let's do a full 360, I guess. So type in 360 and move that to the end. So now if I play this back, you'll see it starts like this. That light is coming in. As it's going, that light is transitioning all over the place. And obviously you can play around with this if you want it to be like 720 or you want it to be more flashy. You could do that. So that looks pretty cool. So let's also right click, ease out. I would highly recommend always doing ease out and ease in because these are how you get like those smooth transitions. So I'm going to pull these graphs to create a really sharp S-curve right here. So theoretically, once it gets to the middle, it should just be going crazy. So let's play that back. So yeah, it looks like a quick little transition, but I want this to actually, oh, I can change the light color. That's cool. So if I change the light color, it's like a, it's kind of like a color matte, but it's not really a color matte. So I'm going to keep that light color. Let's change it to black. Obviously black makes everything black. So let's move that back to white. And light intensity. I can drag that all the way up or drag it all the way down. So I can drag it to 1. So yeah, I mean, that looks pretty cool. What do you think? I think it looks cool. I'm just trying to think how we can actually make this a little bit more interesting. So with the adjustment layer, I feel like we should be able to use these points as a color matte. Now, I can't remember, to be honest, how I created my color matte because it's been forever, but we're going to learn matte. What is it? Difference matte, image track matte key. So if I drag that on there and choose a video layer, I think it has to be above that. So if I copy this up and then I select video 3, now theoretically when it goes, well, I'm not going to do that one. I'm going to copy this one up over here just so I can see if it actually does anything. So yeah, it doesn't actually pull in that matte Luma, maybe. Oh. Yeah, it doesn't actually pull that in, so that actually won't work with this effect. But overall, the effect kind of worked. It's like a quick little transition. All right, So we made that one. Let's move on. Maybe we can copy this over again. Man, I need some water. Let's see. Audio's good. Review's the last one that said something. Let me bring this chat down a little bit because I don't need it to be so big. So what kind of transition do y'all want to see next? We got 35 people in here. Oh, yeah. Ooh. Follow me on Instagram if y'all want to keep up to date with stuff, or hit me up with questions or transition ideas that you have that you want me to check out. All right. Let's just keep playing around. So video effects, where do we stop? We were on adjust. I don't even know where we were, to be honest. I have a bunch of videos coming out that I've predated with convolution kernel. So let's drag on camera blur, see what that does. So it seems like it literally just blurs your image. Obviously, you could do like a quick blur transition, or you could create a blur and then create like a mask around something. So then like you blur from that eye into that eye, which wouldn't be that cool. But I'm going to try this real quick because I don't really ever use the Premiere tracking feature. And if you didn't know you could do this, you can actually track a mask forward. So if I click this button, theoretically, it will process that. And it should, if you look, it should from that point track that mask onto that eye. So now we can start manipulating that further, like the feather, mask expansion, that type of stuff. So now we have, from this point, a tracked mask on that eye. It's a quick way to easily mask out your subject. But, I mean, I don't really like the look of this, to be honest. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I mean, maybe we could pull this up and change this mask to like an inverted eye. So then it's like you only see the eye. And then, I don't know, can I remove this? So if I go to like multiply, obviously you'll see like it pulls in there. But yeah, I don't know. It's helpful when you are trying to like track a certain thing like opacity. So if I track backwards, you can see that it will track that opacity of, well, now it's going to take forever, so I don't want to do that. But it'll track that opacity of that eyeball. So if you want to like isolate something or bring that over another clip, theoretically you could track that. So now that we track that eye, see? So it's pretty cool. All right, let's delete that mask and let's start looking at the other ones. Channel blur, what does that do? Red blurriness. Oh, okay. So channel blur looks like it changed. That's some like how to change your person to hawk right away. Izzo Jr. says, I like your content, man. Appreciate what you do. Hey, thank you. I'm just trying to make stuff that y'all love and appreciate. So we got a little hawk going on. Green blurriness. So it seems like you can change all the blurriness indefinitely of all these. So if I just drag all these up, repeat edge pixels always. Whoa, hold on. Look at this. If I just drag all these blurrinesses up, we're getting like, doesn't this look like an overlay that we can use? So if we export this out, like if we exported that out, couldn't we theoretically use this as an overlay? Like a lens flare. Dude, that is literally a lens flare. Let's change this to overlay. I think you pretty much use screen. Yeah. So, all right. This is incredible because how I'm going to make, this is definitely going to be a Fast Friday video or something because this is awesome. So yeah, this is what it looks like without anything. Check it out. That's without anything. No lens, blur, or flare that we just created. And if I toggle this on, check it out. You can see those colors coming in from our previous image. And look at it. It's moving around. And with it toggled on, we can still adjust our green blurriness. If we want more colors, we can toggle these blurriness values to modify our lens, our freaking overlay. But it's not an overlay. It's literally an image that we are just messing around with the channel blur to get these effects. That is mind-blowing. If that's not the coolest thing, that's probably the coolest thing I've ever found because I have never seen anything like that before. We are going to make a tutorial on this. I'm No doubt in my mind. Channel blur. Save preset. We're going to call this fake. What is this? Fake overlay? Fake overlays, or like, you know, make your own overlays, because now theoretically if I pull in other clips, so like this one right here and this one, so obviously this bottom clip, let me delete those in and outs, do it here. So obviously this bottom clip, this is the clip that we're going to add the overlay to. That's what it looks like normally. And then if I toggle that top clip and then go to my effects rack and then drag on that fake overlay that we just made, that's what it does to that image. So it's kind of like a little overlay. Obviously, if you had more stuff, it'd look better. Change this to screen. So now our image looks like this. Obviously, it doesn't look that good. So then we can adjust the blue blurriness to get more of the actual warmth in there, and the green blurriness as well to get more red. Let's do that. I don't want that much red. Yeah, that gets green. So I mean, just like from clicking and sliding things around, you can create your own little overlays. And obviously, like, you'd use overlays for a transitional element. So it's weird that we're using a video to create our own transitional stuff. So then we can apply default transitions on all of these. So then it's like a crossfade. So then our transition is like this. Yeah, oh, hold on, let me pop that out real quick. So then we have this transition where that is a video layer that is actually creating the lens flare overlay, but it allows us to create something like this. That was a fake lens flare. Like, would you believe me if I told you without showing you that this was actually created by using a video? Like, untoggle these video layers. See that? Untoggle that effect. That's the video that created that lens flare. That's insane. Josh, what the heck, man? Coming in with the $9.99. Why didn't you make it $10, dude? No, I'm just kidding. No, thank you, brother. Appreciate it. I actually got to talk to you about something that happened to me when I was live streaming the other day. Oh my gosh, scariest experience of my life. Vivid, thank you. Make an RGB transition using a rhythmic. Yes, I can definitely do that. But yeah, Josh, I'm going to hit you up because something happened crazy. Let's just say I got Zoom bombed on a live stream in front of like 100 plus people, and it was terrifying. So it was insane. But yeah, y'all, that's probably the coolest thing I've ever seen. I've never seen anyone create a fake lens flare out of a video using the channel blur. That is insane to me. I'm still mind blown. And I mean, I'm just playing around with this. So if I go just horizontal, oh my gosh. Yo, if you go to just horizontal, we theoretically should be able to create. Yo. So we just created that. So obviously that's nothing crazy, but if you put that over our clips, oh my gosh. Now we have. Oh, and check this. We can even add like a mask, change this feather. But yo, look at it. When you create a mask, it's on the channel blur, so we don't create a mask on our opacity. And then feather that stuff like crazy. Mask expansion. And let's change this to like just like a top corner or something. See what that does. So yeah, I mean, we're getting so many different possibilities here. That is incredible. $9.99 looks like more. I guess that's true. $10. Yo, that is so true. $10 does not seem as much as $9.99. It's weird. So yeah, Josh, I can't wait for you to make a tutorial on this because I'm sure you're going to eventually. You'll probably beat me to it because I have a lot of tutorials lined up, but this is pretty cool. Maybe I'll do this one tomorrow. I mean, I have so many because I made that one. We made, in the beginning, we showed like the morph. Let me copy this in and out. Where We made the morph where it was like showing you this like sick data moshing transition. We made this amazing lightning crop transition. And then we also made this like text sliding transition with the crop tool in Premiere, which is pretty insane. So that was pretty cool. And then we played around with, what was this? Oh, that was just some stupid, I don't even know what the effect that was. Bevel edges effect that created that. And then now we are here because we just found out that you can create fake lens overlays or blurs or whatever you want to call them. So I'm going to try something. So if you use your actual clips right here, right? So if I use my clips and then I copy that preset that I made, the fake overlay preset, obviously it makes this into your image, copy that on both those, and then change the overlay blend mode to to screen on both those. Theoretically, this should be like the actual, it's copying the video data, so shouldn't this look better? I think. I'm going to bring that in, bring that out. So now our lens flare is actually mimicking our image. So then it should be more pleasing to the eye. That looks good. But I like playing around with that. So, I mean, I'm pretty stoked about that. That was pretty cool to figure that out on a whim. I think it looks better when it's like, oh my gosh, that is so cool. So yeah, we can change this to vertical. Oh my gosh, why does vertical look insane? Obviously vertical is a little bit trippy, but like even on this channel blur, like let's go to like mosaic, like drag on a mosaic effect. And then from here, you can do sharp colors and we can create our own vertical blocks. Let's drag that down to like something there and like this. So then let's keyframe this. Go a couple frames, keyframe that. Go a couple frames, keyframe that one. Go a couple frames, keyframe back to 1, 0. Let's go here, 1. Let's drag that one to 1, that one to 1 as well. Highlight all of these, right click, go to hold. And then, so yeah, this is like creating some mosaic effect, but it's not moving too fast right away. So I'm going to pop that up, up, and then up, down. So I'm just coming in here. I'm going to highlight all these. Like, this is how dirty I work in Premiere. I'll copy everything. And now we got this like weird mosaic thing. So now if I play that over with our thing, obviously it's going to look a little bit different. But like, look at that. Like we're getting a sharp line right here. But if I go a frame over, it's harsh. And now you can play around with these sharp colors to get different looks. But that is like a quick mosaic thing. And I think it might look good if you play around with like different blend modes, like soft light. Maybe not soft light. Maybe something like difference. This would be like a crazy glitch thing, like difference. Anytime you play with different blend modes, man, it gets pretty wild. Let's do subtract. Divide. Okay, divide's getting somewhere. All right, so divide is almost like our flashy transition in the beginning. So if I just create an adjustment layer and pull on those effects that we did in the beginning with this subtract, theoretically this would be similar to that lightning strike effect that we did in the very beginning. So presets flash 1. So now it looks like this. I mean, like, what is this? Like, this is what I'm telling you when you just get creative in Premiere and just hang out and have fun. Like, if you guys like this style of live stream, then let me know because I'll do this more. Because, I mean, it's exciting. So let's pull in some more. Actually, let's just go back to our... I didn't really plan out this stuff. Actually, no. Let's pull in another example. Stock footage. Let's see. I need to download more. This is from ArtGrid. Let's just pull in this shot and this shot. I use this shot a lot, but I need to change it up. All right, that looks good. So now we have this clip right here. It's like a drone shot, and then this one. Yeah, that's pretty sick. Josh says, I love these. Oh, dang. It's good stuff. Thank you, man. A lot of people like these live stream stuff, so I'm just trying to do them more. they're just awesome because like I have no set goal. I mean, we're learning together, but this is kind of my creative process of how I work. Actually, I'm gonna pull this clip because I know later on in the clip, if I hold shift, it like goes back the other way. So then it's like here into here. So I feel like we can get something cool with this. So when I want to create a new transition, like I am right now, I just go through the video effects within Premiere Pro and see what I can make. So I'm gonna go back to my editing tab. And yeah, let's dive in here. We were under blur and sharpen, like we didn't even make it out of there. I'm gonna grab a drink real quick. Hold on. That was good. Reduce interlace flicker. What does that do? What? Are you kidding me? That's freaking... It goes all the way up to 1,000. Oh my gosh. So if we copy this layer up and then delete the interlace flicker on the bottom layer, that's like almost like the effect that we created. I'm going to change this to full so we can see. So there's this weird, like, see how when I pause it, it doesn't show in the middle, but when I play it, it shows in the middle? I'm going to render that out just to see if that actually shows right there. 1 second. So it doesn't show, but that's pretty cool. So what can we do with this effect? Because it seems to be just like the softness. So maybe it's like, so you have a beat that's going like dun, 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 or something like that, and drag on that reduce interlace flicker. So then let's set a keyframe, go 1 frame, and then change this to like something like that, and then go 2 frames and then change this back to 0. So yeah, it like pulls it in. And I don't like how like it almost like seems like the edges are becoming blacker or like darker. So I wonder if there's just an effect called alpha adjust, and sometimes if you drag that on and click ignore alpha, yeah, see, if you drag on ignore alpha, it will actually ignore the edges, so then your effect will get like a little bit better, because you see that this is what it was before. See, I was kind of jarring at the edges right there, but if you drag on the alpha adjust and click ignore alpha, your edges will actually be a little bit cleaner. But that looks kind of cool. Love from India, what's going on, y'all? We have currently 1,000 playbacks. So y'all have been playing this video. We went over a lot, but this is a cool effect. What would you call this, y'all? Like if we just kind of created some keyframes, like the bass drop effect, I don't even know what to call it. It's like a blur, but obviously you can ease out. If someone comes up with a cool name, I'll make a tutorial on it and I'll give you credit for helping me with the name. So I'm gonna create that right there, ease this one in. You know what, let's just get crazy and pop that all the way up there so it's like Premiere's like, what are you trying to do to me? That looks good. So then let's play that back. So yeah, that's a quick and easy blur transition right there, man. Obviously you can't change the direction of this, which kind of sucks because it's just doing the interlacing flicker. But real quick, you could literally make a transition doing this. So yeah, let's just delete this. I'm gonna keep that alpha adjust because I know I need it. So interlace flicker, drag that onto your first clip, add a keyframe, add another keyframe, drag this all the way up to, let's say, 500. Make sure our alpha adjust is beneath that clip because Premiere works in top down. Ease out and then ease in. Change that speed graph to something like this where you drag that out. For everyone just joining, because we're getting 65 people in here, we are just chilling, creating effects. Right now we're creating some crazy de-interlacing flicker transition. It's like a blur transition, but I'll quickly show you all the ones that we started with once I get them. But yeah, this one looks like that right away. And then obviously we're going to copy these effects. Boom, shakalaka. And then pull this keyframe right there. I like to reverse the keyframes every now and then because it like saves me time. And then pull this one out. So now our transition looks like this, where it's like it pulls those in. Boom. obviously on the second one, our alpha adjust was on the top. That's why our edges looked a little black. Alpha adjust controls the edges of your clips. Sometimes if you put it on a clip or if you have a transition, sometimes it will actually make the edges a little darker. So alpha adjust will ignore that data. So it's something to keep handy. So yeah, this transition was kind of like a vertical blur deinterlacing transition, but like I could even just see you like playing around with this effect and just creating the softness a little bit to create like this weird, almost trippy vibe. So what if I just duplicate that video layer and increase the size of our bottom video layer? I'm gonna increase that size. Obviously, I don't think you can see through this layer, so we have to change the opacity. Like let's change the opacity to 70 and delete the interlacing flicker on the bottom video layer. Delete the alpha adjust. So now after our transition, we have like a layered version into this second one. So this is kind of like almost like a, I don't know what you call it, like a drunk, trippy transition. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So yeah, for you all just joining, now we have almost 80 people in here. We started showing some data moshing morph things, but it's not really data moshing. That's directly in Premiere Pro. We created this lightning crop transition where like we have a flash and then we are cropping, but if you delete that lightning, you can see that we created a cropping transition using the crop tool, and then we added a lightning flash onto it. And then next we played around with the crop tool again, where we basically use the zoom function on the crop. If you use the zoom, it will actually pull in the actual clip. So it won't crop it, but it will zoom it. So that was pretty cool to play around with. What's up, everyone from Brazil? This live stream is popping off right now. So we created that. That was pretty cool. And then we also played around with this weird bevel transition that I will probably never use again, but it's just showing that with any effect within Premiere Pro, you can probably make a transition out of it. And then my favorite thing, this is going to blow y'all's mind. We literally created an overlay. Oh, well, that's the ugly version of it, but we created an overlay. Like I'm talking about a lens blur or a lens overlay, a light leak. I would call it a light leak. This is a light leak, but get this. We created it out of a video. What? Drag on channel blur and just drag up all your blurriness, and it will actually allow you to create a custom lens light leak effect that you can drag over your clips and apply default transitions in your transition, and you can literally transition your clips. Look at that. That's a light leak to help us transition our clips, but we created it from a freaking channel blur. Like, isn't that insane? So that's my favorite thing that we've made so far, because I didn't know that was possible. And then we started working on just this little like, what was it? This like deinterlacing transition. So yeah, now we're creating this weird effect, and we can honestly click on that effect, and let's see if we change the opacity to something like, let's drag these out to here, drag that out to there. Feather that, because we always like to feather. Now it's like only affecting the middle portion a little bit, so it's almost like you're tripping, but I want to just affect the outside, so let's invert that. And now that we've inverted it, our edges are being affected, but the center of our image is still crispy clear. So that's kind of like a way to get that like crazy, almost like a circular, what's that? Lens distortion. What's up, everyone? Don't delete this live. Yeah, I'm not going to. You can watch it back because we have a lot of good stuff in here. But I'm probably going to make a tutorial on one of these effects for tomorrow's video. So I do have to end it at some point in time. What's up, everyone? Calgar from Turkey. How's it going? Definitely need more of these. Yeah, I can definitely do that because, I mean, I'm learning a lot. Alexander, what's up? Jumping in from Barbados. Japan's right here. German's also here. Y'all are crazy. Let's get that intro going. Boom. Welcome. 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 Yeah, who gave me the power to do that? So, let's drag on lens distortion onto this effect. And now if I go down here, obviously you can see that if I adjust this curvature, look, we're getting some weird effects going on now, y'all. But I'm going to drag that from 0 all the way up to there. So 0 and then negative 100. So now if we play back through this, it like pops in. I got the lens curvature. Obviously, it looks freaking weird, and I'm not going to do something like that. But let's just show you that you can create some weird lens curvature. And if I pull on this bottom clip and drag that lens curvature on here, obviously I can manipulate that a little bit more too. So if I just pull up these edges, it blends in with that curvature a little bit more. So maybe I just don't even keyframe this. I just leave it there. So then when we transition, we're transitioning into this. Oh, look at that. Doesn't that look weird? I say that looks weird. This is like a zoom. What if I don't fill the alpha? Oh, I want to fill the alpha. Horizontal prism, that moves this up and down. Vertical prism moves that left and right. Horizontal decentering, they all kind of do the same thing, but this curvature tool is what's pretty powerful in that sense. So if you change the curvature and if you change your zoom in, obviously you can see your full image, or you can zoom in a little bit more. So what's good, everyone? Excellence. And again, how's it going, y'all? We're just creating a bunch of effects and playing around with Premiere. So I'm pretty happy with that. I mean, I don't really know what we created. That wasn't really a transition. So let's see if we can make another one. So I'm going to pull in these clips right here. I've used this in a tutorial before, but what kind of transition do we want to make now? What's up, everyone? From Malaysia, Brazil, blur drop effect. Hi from Colorado. Oh my gosh, y'all are just hitting me from everywhere. So while I take a second, when I come up with a transition, what I do is I like to loop it. So that's probably too much of a loop, but I like to theoretically think about these clips. So let's take a couple seconds to think about this transition. How would we transition between these? Obviously, it's going to be different for like every single thing, but let's take a second and think about this. Usher says, shout out for sure. What's up, Usher? So yeah, honestly, I have no idea. I thought I would come up with something, but I'm looking at everything. Obviously, there's transitions we could do with like the road and mapping the roads to each other or something. I wish there was a way to like keyframe this road and pick a point, and then on this one, pick a point, and then you could line those up. Obviously, you can do that with corner pin, but you can't like draw a line. Imagine this. Premiere, Adobe, I know you guys watch my videos. Hear me out. I want the ability... Now, everyone else might want this too. I want the ability to pick a point, draw a line on something, and have this keyframe track onto that point. So if I drag this point right here, it morphs that road. Think about this, y'all. Think about how powerful this would be if you theoretically could pin a point onto any portion in your video and warp this like you could in Photoshop. That would be amazing, because then you could literally click and drag portions of your video to map it onto the next portion of your clips. Premiere, Adobe, I will be reaching out. You will be hearing from me, because this is a feature that I think will be incredible, and I have not seen that in any editing software, and it will allow us to get very creative. That's my 2 cents. All right, so since I don't know what I want to make this transition, I'm going to simply go in here and go to the effects tab and go through here. This is literally how I learn. This is how I create. This is how I play around with it. Someone said something about the arrhythmic effect earlier. This is like creating some RGB effects. So you can actually increase the red value, increase the green value, blue value. Like, you get the idea. So you could literally, let me delete that and just make this on an adjustment layer so I don't F up this entire transition. 1, 2, holding shift. 1, 2, 1, 2. That's like a 20 frame transition. So now if I drag that arrhythmic, arithmetic. There we go. I was saying it wrong. So yeah. So now we can just keyframe the living daylights out of this, set a keyframe there, copy all your keyframes to the end, and then just go ham. Drag this stuff around. You know, it doesn't matter. No one cares. Play around with different stuff, drag this here, drag that there, because it really doesn't matter in the end, because we're going to be bringing this down to 0 anyways. Highlight all of those keyframes, go to hold, and let's play that back. Look at that. You got a simple RGB, flashy, crazy transition. And if you don't want hold, you can highlight, oops, you can highlight everything, right click. Oh, nope, maybe not. Highlight everything, right click. Right click, there we go, Bezier. So that'll be a little bit smoother. Still looks pretty cool. But the best thing about Premiere is you can stack effects, you can change the ors, the ands. So let's do this. And let's just loop this. And while we're looping, like, let's just change these. So subtract looks like that. Oh, you can't play in difference. Looks like that. Screen. Screen's like a little flashy. So I wonder if we use screen, we could kind of do the same thing that we did earlier with that overlay, creating a video by creating an adjustment layer. So like a color flare. So let's do that. Let's copy that adjustment layer and copy this thing over and start working on here and create our own custom what is it? Our own custom light leak. So if I drag the red value up, I know I'm getting red in here. If I drag the green value, I'm getting some gold. So I want it to match my scene a little bit. So this is green. So maybe we need more green in our thing. Yeah, so that looks good. Almost like a sun. So I'm going to create it a little bit red and green. So now that we did that, we can actually come in here, pick a point where the sun's coming from. So where's our sun coming from? We don't even have sun, but we're going to fake it. Click a point over here. Click some points. I'm going to click and drag around here. This is going to be absolutely atrocious, but I just want to see if this will actually work. So I'm going to invert that. Nah. Feather this thing like crazy. And mask opacity 100. Mask expansion. That looks good. So now what we can do is we can actually keyframe this mask path. So if I go to mask path and then click this button, it's going to track that mask forward and it'll actually track it to our area, which is going to be pretty cool. Omelt says, how long have you been editing? Man, I've been editing my whole life. Probably about like 5-10 years now, just like crazy. But this is how you get good. You just play around in Premiere. So yeah, let's look at our mask. So yeah, you can see it's like tracking, which is kind of cool. So now if we play this back, oh, that was earlier. So now if we play this back, you'll see that our like bloom that we created is actually tracking to this side. So just imagine that if you create this effect or you delete this mask entirely and you want to like create a bloom on the sun because it's bright, and you create a keyframe over here and then you move that mask path over here. Now feather that out. So that's on your sun now if we had a sun there. And then since that's on your sun, you're getting this lens blur or lens overlay from the sun, like a little leak from the sun. But it's fake because if we untoggle that adjustment layer, it's not there. This is our original shot. And then this is with that arithmetic layer. What's up, everyone? We got a lot of people in here. So yeah, you guys must like this live stream. Explosive says hello. That would be dope. Thank you. Stutter shutter transition, like rapid multiple snapshots. Okay. So like I'm gonna keep that there. So like someone's taking a picture, right? So let's try. I have some ideas about it. I'm going to pull in these clips. All right, so let me think. I know that if I create an adjustment layer, and this is how you think. So I'm thinking like stutter, like eyeballs blinking or something like that. If I create an adjustment layer and I change the mask opacity down to 0, nothing happens. But if I change this opacity down to 0, nothing happens. So why is that? How do I get the ability to control the opacity of this underlying layer? Because I can change the scale, nothing's happening. But if I increase this opacity, wait, why is nothing happening? Shouldn't you, correct me if I'm wrong, but shouldn't you be able to, oh, because that's on the original clip. I think I have to drag on a transform effect. So now if I transform the opacity, okay, yeah, here we go. So I had to drag a transform effect. So you're saying like stutter shutter effect, like it's shutters closing. So I'm thinking, drag this opacity down to 0. And if I change this position, nothing happens. What if I bring on a crop tool, like that cropping tool? All right, and what if I drag from the left? Nothing happens, obviously. So let's troubleshoot this, because I don't know how to make this. I'm trying to learn, just like you guys. Bring that opacity up. So if I just move this crop tool, like, let's say, top keyframe and bottom keyframe, go a couple frames, and bring this down to 50%, and this one down to 50%, theoretically that should be like a shut, but it doesn't look that good. So I'm going to actually feather this out a little bit, like that, and then when it closes, it should be there. So we're going to do some keyframe magic, like a whoom, and then right when it shuts, I want to bring it back up to 100%, so it's like this. So that's shutting, but I want it to, you know what I mean? So we know how to shut it now. So let's do a top bottom 1 2 keyframes, and then 50 50 1 2, reset that at 100 1 2 50 50. So then that would be like that's like a quick blink, you know what I mean? It's not necessarily a shutter, so maybe we have to go 1 frame. So maybe if I just copy all of these and wait, would that work? No, because it wouldn't. So let's try 1 frame. So reset that, go 1 frame, make it 50, 50, and then just copy this 1 frame over. Copy that 1 frame over. So now it's like this. So yeah, that's like a stutter effect almost. So with just this crop tool, we created a couple different effects actually. We created like a blinking effect right there, a double blink, and a stutter. Hopefully that was something, yeah, like a cool stutter effect. Sorry, I need to keep drinking water. Give me a second. But I mean, that looks pretty cool. So obviously if you had like a or like a it would add to your effect, but you could simply, in between this stutter, cut out that bottom clip and bring in another clip. Obviously we need to end the stutter with obviously making sure it's on. So then you have like this blinking in and out, quick stutter, and that stutter goes into your next clip, which is a pretty seamless transition since it's happening so fast. So thank you for the idea. That was pretty sick. Prakash says, hey, how's it going? What's up, everyone? Yahweh, how's it going? Meet up. Yeah, dude, if you're ever in the area in Austin, Texas, let me know. Christian Perry, we need to create some fire here in Austin. Yes, I would totally be down. Just hit me up on Instagram at Kyler Holland, so then we can make a bunch of stuff. That would be sick, like we did in the very beginning. If you're just jumping in, welcome to the live stream. We're making a bunch of transitions and effects. We made some data moshing morph cuts. We did some crazy flash cropping transitions, lightning effects. We did this cool slide with the crop tool. And we also did some weird bezel effects. Honestly, no idea. And then we created some overlays with our own video sources. That is not a light leak. That is actually a video that we changed into a light leak, which is pretty cool. We also created some of these wild but cool blur transitions using these deinterlacing effects and fisheye effects. And then, man, we've created a lot. And then we did these like weird RGB overlays, which converted into actual fake sun flares, lens flares, and now we're here with the blinking effect. So yeah, I am going to go to the bathroom because I have to go to the bathroom. But we have 97 people in here, 100 people watching. Boom! 100 people in the chat. Let's spam the logo. Nah, I'm just kidding. So for the next transition, I want y'all to hit the chat right now, and I'm going to pick one idea and go with it for the next transition. So I have to go to the bathroom, so I'll be back in like a minute. So, BRB. right, I'm back. Hopefully I didn't lose all of y'all. Actually, I gained some. So cool. All right. ATX stand up. Y'all didn't hit the chat. Y'all were supposed to hit the chat with an idea. But that's okay. I still like you guys. So here we go. Michelle, what's up? Excellence, like the video. ATX stand up. What's up, everyone from ATX? Hit me up on Instagram if y'all want to meet up for anything. So, 6 a.m. here and can't sleep and suddenly see this video. Zero says king. Thank y'all. So, since we don't know what to make for this next transition, let's go to the effects tab. Video effects. We were under color. We were under channel, right? I think we're under channel. Like, let's drag on calculations. What does that do? I've never played with it. Revert. Oh my gosh. Revert input second layer. Drag this up. Like, let's make this layer video 2 and hide that layer. I have no idea what that does. But this is the fun thing. You can play around with effects and learn what they do. So RGB, gray, green, blue. So it looks like it's pulling in colors. Obviously, you can look up what these effects mean. So I have no idea. So we're going to delete that one because I don't want to play around with it. Obviously, invert, set matte, set composite. We have color corrections like equalize. Equalize brightness, RGB. Obviously, it's going to add some stuff, but amount to equalize. So, I mean, you could literally, any keyframe, if you're going into a transition, let's drag on an adjustment layer. If you're trying to create a transition, create an adjustment layer and then just keyframe the crap out of it. Go to the center, and obviously this is going to be the max, so let's max that out. But equalize will create like a weird transition. Go to 0. Make sure you add these keyframes. And I'm literally just clicking and dragging around just to get different looks. 0. Always end on 0 and always start on 0. So now if I highlight all of these, right-click, hold, now it looks like this. I mean, that's a stupid transition. That's like a flash transition. But, I mean, obviously, if you made this a couple frames, obviously, some of these transitions, you don't want to make them long. So let's do that. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's like a 2-frame transition, but it looks good. So, yeah, we just made a glitch transition there. Let's pull in some different clips. I don't really have more. Let's do a nature clip. Yeah, these would be 2 cool clips to play with. We have this clip right here. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of noise on that last clip. Like, it's literally just gooey, ooey yuckiness. That's why you don't want it to be a lot of frames. But it happens so fast. So, I mean, you could do it really quick or do something earlier. So we have this clip right here. And we have this clip right here. So, I mean, what could we do to transition these clips? I got no idea. So let's make an adjustment layer and then start playing with some effects. What's up? Ollie says, yo, just stepped in. Missed the bubble thing. Can you show it again? The idea of making a transparent word come in with the text and letters. Ollie, I'm not sure which one you're talking about, but we did this one where it was like a flash crop transition. We did this one where it's like a crop slide transition using the zoom function with the text. That's the only thing with text we did. And that weird one, I don't like it. That's the bevel one. And then this one is creating your own overlays and light leaks. And then that's like, oh, that's the bubble one. So this is just a lens distortion. So lens distortion to create that bubble. Drag it all the way to -100 and it will, yeah, so this will be available to watch later. We've created a ton of transitions already, and there's a lot to learn in here, so definitely watch it when it's up. Hit the comments, but we're just playing around. And then this is the other bloom thing that we created. We created our own fake sun by using a mask. So that's before and that's after. Pretty cool. And now we're going to make something new. So I'm trying to stay up with chat. It's hard. Hello, Michelle. How's it going? You live in Wisconsin. What's up, Wisconsin fam? I live in Austin, Texas. Excellence. Quick. Anyone ever tried lower thirds in Zoom? That might be a dumb question. I've never tried to use lower thirds in Zoom. I mean, in Streamlabs, you can like program things. So I can program like my intro. I can program like a BRB screen. I can go to the intro video that I play before every live stream. But I don't know how you would do anything in Zoom. So yeah, let's keep playing around. Obviously tint, if you add tint, you can map different colors. So you can map like your whites to a different color. So if I want my sky or my white to be like blue, I could map that to like a blue color, and that will make all the whites blue. And then I can map my black to like orange. Let's say, yeah, like an orange color. And then you map those both. And then from here, we could like blend this in to create like a little tint color. So that in itself is creating like this almost orange tealish look, but I don't really use tints, to be honest. So you can create overlays. So now you can already get like a dramatic color grade with doing absolutely nothing. Color burn, screen, all these overlays will do different functions. Overlays always pretty harsh, but you can see before and afters. So yeah, play around with tint. Hi from Sri Lanka. How's it going? Wichita, Kansas. What is up, y'all? Welcome to the live stream. We got no video today, but that's okay. 118 people. We're creating effects. We're transitioning in between these two clips, and I don't know what to do. So when I'm creating a transition, I will think about everything that I can use. Obviously, corner pin. If you drag that onto your clip, you have your corners that you can click and drag around. I literally just did a video on this not too long ago. It's a pretty powerful little tool. So you can like create some weird effects just using this tool, but it bogs down your PC pretty intensely. But I mean, just like that, we've created like some weird, I don't know what to call it, like trippy corner pin effect. I gotta zoom out here a little bit. 10%, drag this one over here. No, drag that one over here. So bring that down. Yep, that looks good. Let's go to 25% and copy this one more time. And let's drag these corner pins over here. Over here. That one needs to be, where does this one need to be? Oh, no, it's this one that needs to be changed. There we go. Bring that down here. So, I mean, yeah, just like that, we've created some weird, like this could be like a background. Like, so you could literally just keep this as a background. You could highlight all those, nest them, and then add some sort of blur onto this, like a channel blur like we did earlier, and increase the red blurriness, green, obviously repeat edge pixels, but we got to adjust that a little bit. Yeah, and then you have like a background image that you could use for whatever you want. But we're creating some weird images out of literally nothing. So I'm going to copy that and start again. So yeah, that's the, whatever it's called. What do we want to make? That's the corner pin. Let's see. What does, obviously directional blur, we know what that does. It changes the direction and blur of an image so you can get these like lines. But what you didn't know is that whenever you do directional blur, look at these black edges. If you go in here and type alpha, you can drag an alpha adjust and click ignore alpha, and check that out. Your edges are no longer dark. So ignoring that alpha, this gives you the ability to actually create these blurs without actually seeing the edge. Like, that's with it and that's without it. So if you didn't know that, definitely use that because it's pretty powerful. But now we can do some like weird stuff like this. So what if I just create a keyframe? I wish you could write expressions in Premiere, because you can write expressions in After Effects, but in Premiere you can't. So now we're just playing around with this. We're creating like this effect, like a rotating. It almost, doesn't this look, hold on, doesn't this look like you just dropped that camera or like you chucked it up? I'm curious. We're gonna get stupid here, but if I right click on this one, go to ease out, we're gonna create something. I think it's possible, and start this nice and slow. What happens? Oh, obviously we have to like, that's just the direction. We have to control the blur length. So we want this to be 0, and then obviously start up to, let's say, here. So yeah, that looks good. Ease out. And then what I'm going to do, if you're paying attention, I am going to actually transform this. Now, this could not work at all, or this could actually work. So on this clip, this is the point where I want this to make it seem like the camera is just got chucked into outer space. So I'm going to keyframe position and scale this in a little bit. Position over here. Right click on both those beginning, ease out. Right click on these ones, go to ease in. Maybe. Change the speed graph all the way to the right. Same thing with here. So now let's move this over here and see what this looks like. Yeah, that did not do what I wanted it to do, but I think this is salvageable. So yeah, I mean, I want it to seem like you threw the camera and then all of a sudden it's like spinning in space, but maybe this needs to be a little bit faster. Chuck the camera. Check that out. Yeah. This is called the chuck the camera effect. So now if we throw the camera, blah, 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 we cut that clip up. We cut that clip up. Wow, that is a tongue twister. And now we can copy these effects and reverse the order on this clip. So let's pull this back here, pull this one here, pull this guy here, this one here, change this to the right, pull that left. Yep, that looks good. So now theoretically, yeah. So now it looks like this. Dude, look at that, y'all. We just made a freaking awesome transition out of nothing, an idea. So, I mean, that was kind of cool. What do we call this? Chat. What do we call this? The throwing camera transition. Like, what do you even call that? I have no idea. While we're playing that, while you guys think of what we're going to call this, excellence. You said that you liked the video. Thank you. I appreciate the love and support. I'm going to open up a Reese's Pieces. Chapel says, lower thirds and zoom. Video mixer, thank you for that. Sheila, how's it going? Fisher, we got it verified. How's it going? Deepak, at least how do you invert back? How do you invert back in corner pen? You can just click the reset button. Yeah. Love cutting. Tony, I knew someone was going to say that. You know that's not what I meant. But, yeah. So, for the corner pen, if you want to revert this back to like normal, obviously you'd have to create a keyframe on absolutely everything and click the reset button and that'll reset it back. But obviously that one was a little funky. So you'd have to actually keyframe each individual position and remember which corner it was to pull these back. So you got to get a little creative with it and looking at all your corner pins and not creating a mask. Y'all, have you ever had issues when you try to delete a mask and you have to hit it hard or it doesn't go away? And then reset those, see what that does. Yeah, I mean, you got to play around with it, but you can do it. It's just tricky. So yeah, what are we calling this one? Ooh, Excellent says camera tumble transition. I like it. Camera tumble transition it is. So we have that transition, camera tumble transition. But what if you delete this transform on it? Does it still look good? I mean, without the transform, I think it looks decent. So I'm going to copy these, save preset, camera tumble, CT in, because obviously you can make this later and fix it, but I mean, this is just a test. CT out. I'm scaling it. So then if you pull it onto like another clip or something like this one, and if I go to my preset and go to CT in, and then this one and go to CT out, then it theoretically should create that transition. I mean, that was weird. It didn't really work the way I wanted it to, but I don't think I've seen anything like that before. that was pretty sick. So, I mean, camera tumble transition looks pretty cool. Because like the best thing about Premiere is like all the effects. Now we have 150 people. This is the most I've ever had in a live stream. So welcome. We created a bunch of effects. So if I duplicate these, or I add the effects that I created earlier with like these cropping things all into one, then theoretically we can combine all of this stuff into one transition. So we can stack all of these. So if I create this adjustment layer and go 1, 2, 3, 4 over there, middle, 1, 2, 3, 4, then I can add the other effects that I've created, like the fake overlays, which was that like blending thing. But I don't want to do that on this adjustment layer, so I'm going to create one up and do fake overlays and make that screen. So now we have that screen overlay. I'm going to change the opacity. That's my one thing I hate about adjustment layers. If you do the cross dissolve, it actually makes your video go away, but if you use the opacity, it doesn't, which is really interesting. But I don't want to do that. So we're going to delete that, and then we're going to add the flash that we created. So now we have the flash and the camera tumble transition on top of each other. Like, what is that? If you showed me that, I'd be like, yeah, I have no idea how to make that, to be honest. So yeah, that was pretty cool. Camera tumble transition, I love it. It looks pretty cool. Let's pull in this clip and this clip. We got what is it? A man talking to a girl, hugs her, and we go into this clip. These are 2 different frame rates, so maybe this clip and what is this one? That one? Oh, wait. This clip and this clip would match. Probably right here. Hugs her through the thing. All right, sees it. Yep, cool. All right, so yeah, let's pull these in. So we have these things. So we got 160 people. We're creating transitions. If you're just joining the live stream, we're creating a bunch. Like we have a ton that we've already made. They're pretty sick. But right now, I'm showing you how I actually make something from scratch. So I typically pull on an adjustment layer, cop this thing down, and then go through Premiere's effects, because this is how you learn. I believe we've left off at color correction, so let's go to distort and see what we can make. So obviously the mirror effect, if you drag it on, you can change your reflection center and angle, so you can get these like weird mirroring effects. So obviously you could like flicker this effect or make something as creepy as this, and you definitely want to just mask it out on his face and feather that. Yeah, you definitely want to do this. Feather that just on his mouth, so it's right there. And obviously you want to toggle this animation so that feather stays right there on his mouth the entire time. Yeah, because this is how you get the cool effects. Totally kidding. Yeah, don't do that. But yeah, we got the mirror effect that flips. Obviously you can do something like that. Offset's pretty cool because you can like shift the center, and you can create these like cool offset transitions where it's like you go a couple frames before, add a shift center keyframe, go to the middle, drag that all the way to the right however many times you want, and then go back to here. But this is where you're going to see Premiere glitch out a little bit sometimes. Keep dragging it to the right, and then, yeah, get it somewhere in the middle. Sometimes it works. For example, it worked. So yeah, what you can do now is Bezier that middle one, ease out on that first one, and we can't see our back keyframe, so you have to drag that adjustment layer out a little bit, and then right click, ease in. Click this down arrow, and then adjust the speed graphs of these. Create some mountains, so we're speeding into the center, so now it looks like this. So obviously that was way too much sliding, so I'm just gonna delete these because I can do it really quick, and I'm only gonna move like a couple, like let's say 2. And then honestly, you don't even need to do the middle keyframe. Like you could just do the ending keyframe as long as you are equal keyframes. So 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, and then 1, 2. So as long as it's even on both sides, you don't even need a middle keyframe. You can just go to the right and just drag this as many times as you want, just like that. And then on your keyframes, you go to ease in, and we're gonna pull this all the way to the left. And if you pull that to the left and pull this one to the right, it should theoretically start slow and then really fast. So that's a quick offset transition. All right, Will says, just started first Adobe trial. This is really helpful, thanks. Yeah, you'll have to check the live stream once it's actually up and running, because there's a lot that we're teaching in here. We got 115 likes and 2 dislikes. That's what I like to see, y'all. I love the dislikes. I love it. Y'all can dislike all you want. It's not going to affect me. So cool, we did an offset one. Let's drag an adjustment layer again and start playing around. What does rolling shutter repair do? I have never seen this effect. Ooh, it like pulls in. Daniel says, I wonder how easy this would be to make Resolve. I have no idea, to be honest. I just started Resolve to learn how to color grade. So, method, warp, pixel motion. Warp. So, rolling shutter, obviously this doesn't have an effect, but it like looks like it's just glitching it in and out. Can you actually see it? No, you can't. Yeah, I don't know what rolling shutter does. Sphere size, obviously this will do that same bloom effect, but I don't really like it because I don't really have a use for it in any transition besides like a pixel bloom or something. So I'm not going to use it. We have twirls, which are pretty interesting because twirl can actually spin your image, and you can spin these to transition your clips. And if you change the radius, it will actually pull in your clip from the side. So you could easily like make like a quick twirl transition. But the problem is like when you make this transition, obviously it's going to pull in the edges of your clips. So it's not going to be like the greatest, pending however much you do. So like you'll see like you pull it in and it just twirls it. But if you change this twirl radius to a little bit more to picture the whole image, obviously this doesn't look good because I haven't adjusted the keyframes, but it pulls in the edges, and that alpha technique that I showed earlier is not going to work here. Like alpha adjust, if I drag that on and ignore alpha, it doesn't do anything. It's just ignoring the edges of our screen. So that's not going to help us. So what you theoretically have to do is like copy this video layer, and the bottom one, you have to like increase the size of it. But that's not always going to work either. So you just got to keep playing around with it because twirl gets pretty annoying. So why does the twirl effect actually pull in this data? Like, shouldn't it? Yeah. I mean, it really should. Ooh, that mask only. Theoretically, couldn't we use this as a track mat? So can we create our own track mat transitions? So if this is white, it needs to go to black. Because I did a tutorial on track mats, but like, how would you make this go to black? Yeah, I got to figure that out. But if I can create my own track mat transitions, that would be awesome. So, all right, let's go back to this clip since we didn't really do a transition with it. And this one. What's up, everyone? Can you zoom into white while it twirls? Yeah. You should be able to. Effects controls, you can change the scale, but you can't change the scale. So you actually have to, on adjustment layer, so you actually have to drag transform. And then in here, you can change this scale. So you can zoom into that white or theoretically zoom out, correct? 100. So you can zoom out, and then once you, that's weird, once you get to a certain threshold, it goes back in, but then you can zoom into this white by dragging. So yeah, you definitely could do that, but I'm going to be playing with that because I could do some track mat transitions. Lots of slow motion close-up brand. What's up, everyone? Got your first filming gig. Any tips on what to capture? Shooting Black Friday ad for some gym equipment. So what to capture on Thursday. Dude, capture everything. Like, you want slow motion. You definitely need to think about slow motion because a lot of people don't think about it. Like, if your camera can shoot slow motion, shoot it, because there's been so many times where I'm shooting where I hope that I actually had something, and if you don't have anything to fill it, like, slow motion is a great way. One, because it fills up more of your actual film, and two, because it looks buttery smooth. Any color grading tips for smartphone footage? Yeah, I'm actually going to create a preset pack for smartphones, so like iPhones and Androids, so that you can create LUTs and stuff on there. But I actually want to spend some time on that, so hopefully it looks cool. But yeah, I'll definitely be doing that. So let's see. Let's go back into the video effects, our favorite thing ever. And we were under distort. I did a video on wave warp, which is pretty cool because you can like create these like really crazy effects. So like we could literally start something like this, or we drag this all the way out direction, and then bring this where was that? And then bring this in. So wave height. Let's go to ease out and then ease in. And then right when we hit this last one, let's cut that. All right, let's see what that looks like. So, I mean, like, what is happening right here? Like, this is insane. But if you just imagine that we could, like, stack these video layers. So now you're getting layers upon layers of clips. And if you apply this, like, wave warp to this bottom clip, we can adjust the other parameters. So you're getting some, like, weird, like, what is this? I don't even know what that is, but, like, we could use this as, like, a transitional element if you wanted to. And then you could stack all the other ones that we've created on there as well. Like this flash that we made in the beginning. I'm going to copy that there. Delete that, delete that. And let's just... Like, I don't even know what this is, but this clip in itself, like some crazy transition, like we can nest this or do whatever we want. And, oh, that didn't nest. We can right-click, nest this. And now this clip in itself is some craziness that's going on, like flickers. So we can use that to actually transition. So now that's like all these crazy effects. Obviously, this clip right here that we made, the, I don't know, camera tumble transition, we can copy this over the top of it and then change the blend modes to like multiply and change that. So now we're getting like some weird, like it has no reference, but it's just adding to that glitchiness. Like, okay, this dude's like rocking out. What the hell? The camera starts spinning and all of a sudden it's like, what's going on? Like, this is the type of stuff that if you had like a dubstep drop or like anything, you'd be like, what is happening? And the best thing is we can chop this up. We can copy this over. We can keep doing this stuff and do that, do that, do that. Let's just copy this up here again and see what happens, because I have no idea what's going to happen. And then you play this back and you're already getting like something insane that you're like, okay, how did this kid do that? Like, this makes no sense at all. But like that entire transition was just a conglomeration of effects. Like, what was that? So definitely stack effects, man. Like, totally highly recommend stacking effects, because you never know what you can actually create. All right. I'm going to probably create one more because my throat is bugging me. So I need to get some water in my system. But this live stream has been so much fun. We have so many people in here, and like, this is the most I've ever had. If you guys want me to keep doing live streams, then smash that like button and let me know what you think in the comments. And also, when the live stream is live, hit the comments with like, bro, this was so sick, because YouTube's not going to recommend this if you learned something, because they're just like savages. They're like, oh, well, we don't care. You made a live stream, blah, blah, blah. You know, it's whatever. So, generate 4-color gradient. So this is kind of similar to what we made earlier, to be honest. Like, you could drag this over your, or actually it's on the gradient. So now your positions, you can actually pull these around and change the position of your gradients. So it's a quick and easy way if you want to keyframe these to get some blending modes, but I typically don't use them that much. Like, if you wanted to isolate like city colors like red, you could pull that red over here. But I don't use 4-color gradient that often. Cell pattern, what do you do? Coronavirus. Like, this could be dispense. Like, this doesn't look like it should be in Premiere. Like, this looks like it should be in After Effects. Am I wrong? Like, even just creating a cell pattern. So we could do this. We could drag it all the way out to there. And we could drag it all the way back up. And you could do ease out, Bezier, ease in, and obviously adjust this speed graph. Always adjust your speed graphs. If you're not adjusting your speed graphs, what are you doing? Also, I found out that if you adjust your speed graph and then you leave your Bezier on the middle one, change it to linear, change it back to Bezier, that'll smooth it out even more. So now we created like almost like a DJ background loop. But obviously you wouldn't do something like this because that's a little strong. But in a matter of seconds, we created something like this. So soft clamp. Like, that was pretty cool. And then we're trying to create transition effects, though. But I haven't found anything that I like. Lightning. Someone earlier was asking if Premiere had a lightning effect. And I said, I have no idea. Because we created this effect in the beginning of this live stream where it was like this, where it was like using cropping and this like flashing technique with the invert. So now that I know, I can simply drag this lightning effect onto my adjustment layer. So now when this, I could do like here, pull this up over here. That looks good. All right, so obviously I don't want it on the entire time. So let's say pull force. How do I change this amplitude? Yeah, let's go 0. Full throttle that to 50. Man, I don't know how to use the lightning. Because when you change your amplitude, shouldn't it change the detail level? Does anyone know how to use the lightning thing? Because I do not. I'm trying to figure out how to just make this thing on and off. Because I can't even do that. Add screen. Pull direction. Pull force. Yeah, I mean, I would have to play around with this more because I don't even know how to use this. But theoretically, we could have added that lightning in there, like as a subtle, like, transitional element. But now we lost that flash element. So yeah, there is a lightning effect to answer your question, whoever you were in the very beginning of this live stream. I just now figured that out. AE had the same effect. Yes, they do. They have the same effect. It's pretty cool. I mean, it works. It does its job. Paint bucket. Never heard of that one. What? What the hell? What on earth is this effect? All right, so let's pick a color in this scene, like this, or maybe the road down here. Okay, I'm already getting so many ideas. Let's see. So fill point, that's probably where we selected or something. Tolerance, let's change the tolerance down. Change the tolerance up. View threshold. So that's like what our threshold is showing. Stroke feather. Stroke choke. I don't like choke. Spread. Nope, don't like spread. Stroke. Okay, so stroke like outlines this. This is already becoming a glitch effect, which is pretty cool. I like anti-aliasing. Invert it. So if we invert this, it should theoretically paint our scene. What on earth is this effect? Ladies and gentlemen, we have to learn what this does. So this color, it paints, but like where is the ability, because this is blending, there's nothing besides a tolerance function that allows me. Okay, so tolerance is theoretically our only thing, and this is a tolerance from 0 to 255, which is controlling our brightness in our image. And I believe this is so because if I go to the color tab and look at our scopes, you can see that right here in the middle is our brightest portion. So if that's true, I go back to the editing tab, then the middle portion, yep, right there in the middle, should change first. Right there. All right, so yeah, we're sitting, it starts to change. This is important to know. It starts to change around 120. Now, I'm just going to click Window, View, Lumetri, Scopes. Yeah, so 120, sitting around here. Yeah, I don't know. So yeah, we can pick a color so we can get some like crazy neon green. I'm just already imagining that if you stack, all right, hear me out. What if we pick a threshold, copy this paint bucket, pick another color, like purple, and change the threshold or the tolerance, maybe? Oh my God. Please work. I don't think it will. Okay, we're getting somewhere. So we're flashing different colors, but how do I change this threshold? Fill point. Interesting. What does fill point mean? Wait, what does this do? What does fill point do? Y'all, this is next level. What? All right, so I think this is important. We're going to head to Google because whenever you need to learn a transition or anything, Adobe Paint Bucket. This is how you're going to learn Paint Bucket Premiere Pro. Where is... You know that page where you can like read about Adobe Effects? Here we go. Paint Bucket. I don't know if I'll be able to find it because I've never seen it in Premiere. Because typically you can come up here and learn all of... Yeah, it's not going to let us. So, I guess we're going to have to figure this one out on our own, y'all. From my understanding, the fill selector, we move this and it changed the color in alpha. Straight color, you have transparency, you have opacity, and alpha channel. I am going to learn this effect because already we're getting some crazy flickering happening. I don't really know what it does, but we're definitely going to play around with that. So, let's move on because let's make one more before I end this. GoPro FX, that's a powerful VR tool. Image control, color pass, what does that do? Okay, so similarity. This lets colors pass that are similar. So if you pick a color in your scene, like this red up there, then you can control the similarity to let only that color pass through. So these taillights right here. That's pretty cool because if you copy that onto our shitty paint bucket, then the color pass should only make this thing pop out. And we could do the same with like this orange down here. I like that. Honestly, I may do that because that's like a cool little way to grayscale everything else. So that's color pass. That's pretty nifty. Obviously, color replace. You pick a color and you replace that color. So I'm picking red and replacing it to blue. And we're going to do solid colors. So now it changes everything that was red to blue. It doesn't work the best because you get these like banding on the edges. Not that cool. Color replace. You've been done. We have 4,400 playbacks on this live stream currently. Thank y'all. All right. Immersive video. You got chromatic aberrations, which are kind of cool. So you could move these around and change the aberrations to create some different transitions. So like on a transition that we've previously created, which is like this insane conglomeration of things, we could go into here and add this VR chromatic aberrations just to get an even more like glitchy transition than we already have. So then this entire transition looks like this. There's the chromatic aberrations. Like that whole transition is literally stacking. If you want to learn how to do this, I literally made this throughout the entire tutorial. So, all right, y'all. I think that's pretty much it. To recap, I think we made like 20 or so transitions. We talked about the morph cut in the beginning for data moshing. We talked about this flash cropping tool where you flash in and you can actually crop. And then it's a way for you to transition and using multiple layers of cropping. And then we also made this like cropping slide. So before I end this stream, I need to know which one of these effects you want me to make a tutorial on, because I'm making a tutorial tonight that will be live on my channel tomorrow, 9 a.m. Central. So this was a cool little cropping slide that pulls on the edge and then the clips blend together to make that slide transition. And then we made, what did we make here? We made this stupid, I don't even like this. It's like a bevel transition. I didn't like it. And then we made this guy, which is like our own custom overlays. But check this out. Like this is like a light leak, obviously. But watch what happens when I show you that light leak layer. It's actually a video layer. That is mind-blowing. A freaking video layer. So that was pretty cool. I was happy when we made that one because I was like, I didn't know that was possible. And then we played around with this like de-interlacing or interlace flicker thing to create this like, oh, it must have broken. I think it broke in the time that we were playing through. But I swear we played around with this like interlacing flicker. Yeah, there it is. It's like a weird flicker thing. So played around with that. And then we made it a little bit more advanced with transitioning into like some fisheye thing, which is kind of cool. We have 1 vote for the crop and slide, 2 votes for the crop and slide. Yeah, and then we made this like flashy transition. And we also showed you how to make a fake sun flare so you can track it across your scene. That was pretty cool. So if you're interested in any of these, watch the live stream when it goes live. This was like a blinking one someone wanted me to try. And we made that with like a flicker in there into a transition, like a. So that was pretty cool. Let's see what else we got. We made, what was this one? I don't even know what this one was. I don't think we made anything there. This one was playing around with corner pins, just showing you that you can create like these weird objects by changing the position of your corners. And then we got into something crazy. I started thinking about this like when you throw a camera and a GoPro and how it shakes. I was like, yo, this is like a camera throw transition. So that one was like something cool. And I made it without the zoom, so I thought it looked pretty cool. Quick and easy way to like make it replicate like you just dropped your camera or something. Obviously with motion look better. And then we made this insane thing with the camera tumble and all these other effects. But this just shows you that when you stack effects, you can get a crazy effect like this one right here. So yeah. And then we made this guy, which was nothing. It was the twirl. I didn't like it. And then that was the offset. Dude, how many did we make? All right, we got one more. And then this was just playing around with these color selection tools. So yeah. All right, y'all. That's the closeout because I don't have my actual closeout. I don't have a camera here, but yo, this live stream was lit. Thank you for sticking around, all 150 of you that are here now. I will definitely probably do the crop and slide tomorrow for my tutorial because I think that's pretty cool. It's a powerful transition, and it was super easy to do. And honestly, it looks pretty sick. So, yeah, it was super easy, but I think it's powerful, and I can make a preset pack out of it. So I'll probably make a free preset pack with this too. So it'll be cool. But thank you for sticking around. This was a great live stream. If you enjoyed it, let me know in the comments down below when the stream goes live. And as always, I will see you next time. Peace.